I started at Sacred Heart. I instantly fitted in straight away. I was making new friends and having a great time. I was also given an itinerant support teacher. It was her role to ensure that everything taught to my peers was also taught to me, but in a way that was accessible. Except she made the first few years of my life incredibly difficult. I was always a fast, creative, imaginative Braille writer, but when it came to reading, I simply struggled. I used to go home at night and my parents would force me to practice reading. We would always end up with me in tears or all of us having an argument. They were worried that something else may be wrong. They wanted to know why I couldn't read Braille, and their concerns were always met with comments from this teacher, such as, she's lazy, you need to force her to practice, or stop making excuses for her. To put it simply, I didn't have enough sensitivity in my fingertips to feel the Braille dots on a page. It was an incredibly tough diagnosis. At that point, I was 10, and the only way that I knew that people without vision could learn was through Braille. But I had a new teacher's aide brought to the school, and she made the world of difference. She introduced me to screen reading software called JAWS. JAWS is a little robotic Americanized voice which scans everything on the computer screen and reads it out aloud. That's how I learnt to send and receive emails, surf the internet, and write in Word documents. She also introduced me to the use of audiobooks. And suddenly that child who hated reading and who used to cry herself to sleep every night for feeling like a failure wanted to do nothing more than sit with a book. I think what helped the most was that I had, while there were certain teachers that didn't want me in their classes or that weren't open-minded about how to teach someone with a vision impairment, for every one of those teachers, there were 3 who were very open-minded and very willing to take me on board. I was able to prove that if you put your mind to something and that if you ask questions and you talk to the student, both of you can achieve. I achieved academically, and I hope that the teachers, or at least I like to think, that they learnt something from me, that they learnt not only how to work with someone with a visual impairment, but also how to be a bit more resilient, to be creative in their teaching. This art teacher could have just said, sorry, we're doing portraits and you can't do them. Just sit there and find something else to do. But she didn't. She wanted me to have a meaningful experience in her class. And that means a lot to me as a student, and I hope it meant a lot to my principal as well about who she was as a teacher.